Originally, I was not. Okay, I should slow the fuck down. Originally, I was not going to record chapter 4 today. I looked at it. The thing looks to be the same length or shorter than the last one. So, I'm cursing myself. I grabbed new tea, and this will be chapter 4 of Black Cats Are Bad Luck and So Are You, Kid, by Holly. Azawa hung up the phone with his husband and rubbed the bridge of his nose, sighing. His husband claimed that their new cat, Hazel, had responded to both him and Ari when they spoke to it with a nod. The man groaned and took a deep breath, tilting his head up to the ceiling and begging the gods. He didn't believe in them, but he needed strength at the moment. For strength. Takachi walked out into his office where Osawa stood, begging for mercy on him, and laughed softly. That bad? He's gone crazy. Oh. Osawa turned to face the man. Apparently, our cat is trying to talk to us. Oh, the new one? Yes. He apparently nodded to him and Ari when they talked to them. I can give you a pair of cuffs. You want to give him away from whatever he's reading? Nah, I'm good. I have this. Zawa gestured to his cap scarf, and Tsukachi snorted and grinned. Shibare? Tsukachi! I swear to God! Izuku finally got his teacher's attention, or at least one of them. The blonde kept questioning him. Are you a quirked animal? Izuku shook his head. Are you sentient? Izuku shrugged. He picked his shoulders up as much as he could. Kinda hurt. Are you God? Izuku glared at the man and shook his head, slamming his paw on his face in disappointment and exasperation. What are you? Izuku meowed. Meow! Meow! I would tell you if I could, Mr. Yamada. The blonde hummed and sighed. Right, you're a cat. You can't talk. The man hummed and began to think. After a while, he perked up and looked at Izuku again. Can you read? Izuku eagerly nodded. The blonde grinned and ran into their bedroom. Eri sat beside Izuku and picked the cat up again, cuddling him. You're a special kitty, Hazel. Izuku shook his head and looked up at the now confused girl. No, I'm Izuku, Eri. The girl tilted her head at him, confused, and the blonde came back into the room with his laptop, opening it and opening a Word document. Here, Hazel, type in here. Izuku sighed and reached a paw over to type. But when he pressed a key, all the keys around it were pressed. He felt his teacher stiffen and try not to giggle. But Izuku sighed and slammed his face into the keyboard. All Izuku wanted was to talk to them, but some higher power stopped him. Oops. Sorry, Hazel. Maybe when we get back to school. I'll see if I can talk to Nezu. Well, that was nice. They were all off for another 4 days, if what he heard from his teachers were correct. Zuko picked his head up and saw the tabs from where they were searching for him still open. He began to meow and paw at them desperately. Meow! 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 The blonde was about to question this when the front door opened and a gruff voice called into the house. So, where is this sentient cat? Mr. Yamada picked Izuku up and carried him over to the dark-haired man, taking his shoes off. Izuku was lifted to the man's face, and the man sighed tiredly. Hello, Hazel. Izuku meowed at him. Meow. Hello, Mr. Ozawa. The man raised an eyebrow and sighed. Hazashi, he's just talkative. The blonde shook his head and turned the cat to face him. No, look, Hazel, can you understand us? Zuko shook his head. Ozawa huffed. That proves nothing. You're holding him. The blonde huffed and walked Izuku over into the kitchen and set him on the counter. Okay, Hazel, can you understand us? Izuku once again nodded. Ozawa's eyebrows shot up and he leaned in. Hazel? Zuko looked over to him and meowed. Meow. Zuko. The man studied the small black cat for a while longer and poked his side. So, you can understand human speech. Are you a quirked animal? Zuko shook his head. Zawa narrowed his eyes. Are you a human? Zuko nodded enthusiastically. They were getting closer. His teacher's eyes widened in surprise. Okay, so I'm guessing you ran up to me for a reason when we first met then. Zuko nodded again, even more enthused. His teacher seemed to be deeper in thought and stared at the boy harder. Are you a missing child? Zuko nodded again. Finally! That kid that went missing in the woods a few months back? God damn it! Zuko face planted into the table with a groan. Both his teachers watched him, concerned and confused. That last Discord noise probably got in there, but I don't care enough to cut it out because it was the last second I could do. Oh my gosh, I keep forgetting to turn that off. Okay, well, this is the end of this chapter. I actually think it was shorter than the last one. And also, I fucking love that Azawa's smarter about it, but it's like, still being stupid. Anyway, this is hopefully going to be the last chapter I record today. Hopefully, because holy fuck. I don't know. I gotta look at the next chapter. Anyway, bye!